Hi, my name is Gary Gray. I work with Veeam Software. I'm here with Stephan from our partner Quantum. What we do together for our customers is offer a simplified solution to their backup and data protection environment when they're wanting to work within the 3-2-1 methodology. That's having at least 3 copies of the data on at least 2 different media with at least 1 off-site. Now we've got some examples of where we've helped customers do that. Stephan, what gives an example of where we've worked together for a customer?
MLC, typically Maître Laitier du Cotentin.
And they're a large dairy distributor,
exactly, right? In France, and they're distributing around the world. So these people basically are already using Veeam software, but with a basic plain disk, and they are also having multiple sites. So they had some concern about replicating for disaster recovery all these sites, and they wanted to have an efficient solution in terms of replication to guarantee high level of SLAs.
So they were using Veeam,
yes,
but they worked out that their infrastructure that they were using, their repository, their target, call it what you will, wasn't satisfying the requirements.
Yeah, they wanted to replicate as quick as possible, and they wanted a very scalable solution in terms of ecosystem.
So what did you offer them then?
So it was a challenge because they've, of course, tested multiple solutions. So we did a proof of concept over there. So they tested plain disk, of course. They tested a competitor doing also a kind of deduplication, and of course our DXi appliance. So they've put that in place and played the same type of data on each of these hardware. And in the end, we demonstrated that we were able to provide same level or even better performance, especially on the instant VM recovery, because we use our VDMS agent from Veeam inside the DXi. But where they were quite impressed is that we are doing an inline deduplication, and when we deduplicate, we also replicate as soon as possible. Because our deduplication is very efficient using variable block technology, we really compress as much as possible the data, which means that we replicate very few data, but very quickly. So they were quite impressed, allowing a very high SLA of replication on that POC.
But to be clear, you offer them 2 different media.
2 different media, that will be the case. They will go to tape. But here, their principal priority was having multiple sites. So in fact, they are running now 3 DXIs, physical machine, but what they like also the product, that we are able to virtualize a deduplication appliance, which can be very small. We call it the V series. So it can start at 1 terabyte and scalable to 24 terabytes.
And that was a competitive situation?
That was a competitive situation, and we were unique providing that virtual also appliance for very small sites.
And how did the commercials work out?
Work out pretty well because the pricing was also decent compared to the ecosystem that we were providing at some point, as well as the Veeam integration. Really impressive, quick and easy. So happy customer on this one.
Another example?
Oh yeah, the other one is more related around the pharmaceutical environment, which is called Veeam. It's a Belgian Veeam. Yeah. It's a Belgian company, and these people were using a competitive product. And after I think it was 3 or 5 years, they have to renew anyway. So either they upgrade the product or renew the service contract, and it was quite expensive. So they did the same thing as Maître Laitier. They went to see what was available out there on the market and did a POC. So once again, we did a POC. We demonstrated that we had the same level of performance and deduplication that the existing competitor in place for half of the price.
Okay, so I'm starting to hear a theme here that when we work together, often we have to prove what we're saying, that we need to do in a proof of concept environment to show the customer how we simplified it.
Yes, because out there on the market, there's other type of solutions sometimes which looks very easy.
Yeah.
So people are sometimes want to test and measure how these 2 bricks get together, Veeam and Quantum. But since we have a deep integration either on the appliance side and the tape library, they see it's almost a single solution.
So we're showing them that we can offer them a best of breed next generation solution that's fully integrated, that works at a pretty competitive price.
Exactly, and very scalable because our DXi solution or our tape solution are very scalable in terms of terabytes or hundreds of terabytes. But what they like also is the replication, especially for Veeam. In that case, we are doing a continuous replication as well. So when the data is being deduped, we store it on the local DXi, but we also send it to the remote DXi. And there is no manual operation, I would say, on the disaster recovery side to present the data Where the competitor, you have to do a manual step to reshow the data for the disaster recovery. Here, it's a very automatic way. It's really asynchronous replication. So to go back on business, Veeam just scans the images and they can restore.
And that's not a manual process anymore. We can start to automate that.
No, our replication feature is automatically.
Okay. So we're satisfying the recovery point
Yes.
objectives, and okay.
So that was really the Veeam case.
And again, we're satisfying it on the technology side, and it sounds like we're pretty competitive on the commercials as well.
Commercial side, I think the price sometimes is equal to the renewal cost of the existing solution.
Oh.
So yeah, it can be very aggressive depending on the size of the project.
That sounds good. I think we've got another one, Airbus.
Airbus, yeah. So this one is quite interesting. So it's Airbus Defense Space. They're based in Toulouse, and they're working with telemetric data coming from the satellites.
Okay.
And they really require to have this data backup because it's critical for this business. They completely refreshed their primary storage HCI infrastructure. And they were looking. Yes, correct. Okay. And that was a challenge. First, to find a tool. Right. Could Veeam do that?
Well, I think yes, we could and can.
So they've looked at Veeam and a traditional disk player like us, the application appliance, but they were also looking at other alternative solutions which do backup and store all in once. Those nice, hyper-converged box. And in fact, they've tested us well. So another POC.
Another POC. We have to prove that we integrated, that our management tools work together. We're simplifying the data protection environment.
Correct. So we have to demonstrate that two vendors can act as, at some point, only one vendor. Okay. Easy of use, ease of integration. They were quite impressed with the performance we were able to achieve. First, from the backup tool, how the backup tool is able to protect their ACI environment. Yeah. Then after, of course, inline deduplication, replication, the ability to go to tape afterwards with also quantum was a key.
And I'm guessing performance in that environment was kind of important.
The performance, yeah. When telemetric data is arriving, it has to be backed up as quick as possible, and we demonstrated such level of performance without any issue, as outlined in the use case. One thing also, because of our alliance, is that the price point was really interested with the end user. We were half the price of a single solution, doing as much as these guys or even much more.
But I think the message is here that we work so closely together that we can simplify it for the customer at a good price point, and our integration makes the cost of ownership, it reduces that. So we're quite an attractive proposition for a customer that's looking to move from their legacy backup infrastructure to a newer next generation one.
Yeah, and sometimes people are skeptical to leave an old backup legacy software, and we have some case where basically we can start with a Veeam, a complete Veeam structure, having a DXI, and the DXI has the capability to work with temporarily with the other ISVs because we have a different type of protocol into one single deduplication pool. Okay. So that's also an advantage that yes, you can come with Veeam and we can still, for a certain amount of time, protect the legacy data if required.
Okay. And in terms of case studies, there is one that I've heard of, which is not public yet, a fintech organization based out of Geneva. Mm-hmm. We've done something interesting there, haven't we?
Yeah, they were using they're using three type of backup tools, one for especially the AS400, another backup tool for their Solaris legacy workstation, and their virtual environment.
So an AS400 environment, Solaris.
And a virtual environment. And they were not satisfied with that virtual tool for their this environment. So they also ran a POC. So once again, we did a POC.
We proved what we said we can do.
We demonstrated that we were able to have performance, replication working perfectly, and having one solution fitting three products at the same time with a cross active replication.
Well, look, that to me sounds pretty impressive. And I think the message is key there. Work with us both. We'll prove that we do what we say we do.
Exactly.
And we can do it at a commercially viable price point.
Yeah.
Thanks very much, Stephan.
Thank you. And all those case studies, I think, are available anywhere on our websites.
I hope
websites.
so.
Yes,
Great.
they are.
Thank you
very much.